And I'm just going to walk through the run of show here and turn it over to our speakers. And so this morning, you're going to be hearing from Highline Superintendent Susan Enfield, Commissioner Ryan Calkins at the Port of Seattle. You're going to be hearing from Maggie Angel from the Duwamish River Cleanup Coalition and Jake Beattie from the Northwest Maritime Center. And then also Crystal Adolph from the Muckleshoot tribe is going to be introducing some youth who have participated in some of our job training events here in the region. And so without any further delay, it's my pleasure to introduce Highline Superintendent Susan Enfield.
Thank you very much, Peter, and good morning, everybody. This is an exciting day. We are thrilled to be announcing our plans to open our Maritime High School this fall. So Highline is proud to be hosting this regional school, which we hope will attract students from across our region. But in Highline in particular, we have a promise to know every student by name, strength, and need, so they graduate prepared for the future they choose. And we want our students to know what those future career opportunities look like here in our region. And we know that the maritime industry is huge here in our region. And we want to make sure that our students are exposed to all the rich opportunities that exist for them in that field. And so this high school represents a really unique opportunity to partner with community and industry in really creating a learning pathway for students that leads to a meaningful career and in turn makes our region and our local economy all the stronger. So I think one of the most exciting things about this is that this is a real partnership effort. And so we are thrilled here in Highline to be working with the Port of Seattle, the Duwamish River Cleanup Coalition, and of course, Northwest Maritime Center. This is a collaborative effort, and it's been wonderful to work with all of these partners, and we look forward to continuing to do so. As I said, this new high school will be open to ninth graders, a small group, an inaugural cohort of trailblazing ninth graders this fall in 2021. And what makes today's announcement even more exciting is that this is the official introduction of our founding principal for this Maritime High School, an extraordinary leader here in Highline who I know is going to bring tremendous energy, enthusiasm, and heart to this school. And so it is my great pleasure to introduce my friend and colleague, Principal Tremain Holloway, not Holiday, Holloway. Principal Holloway, I turn it over to you. You're muted, Principal Holloway.
Oh, can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Uh-oh, my apologies. I want to say thank you, Dr. Enfield, for just providing me the opportunity. I'm eternally grateful for that. And good morning to each and every one of you. I'm excited about the opportunity to lead the Maritime High School. I'm so much looking forward to the future that's ahead of us. Like Dr. Enfield mentioned, I previously worked a couple of years ago at Raisbeck Aviation High School, and I had the opportunity to develop a lot of relationships with the Port of Seattle, as well as some other industry partners that were tied to that aviation field. And that in itself helped me shape and mold me and my thinking when it comes to the student experience, allowing them to be able to have that. And so I look forward to this Maritime High School because I'm thrilled to be able to have that similar experience in the maritime industry with the partners that are in the maritime industry to create that same, that high level educational experience that will launch the students into amazing opportunities in their careers in the future. In the next couple of months here, I'll just share with you, I'll be transitioning from co-principal at Highline High School to actually starting to try to meet and greet with some of the future families that will be attending Maritime High School. I know this will be a very critical, point in time for us right now, especially with trying to shape and create this school from scratch. So I'm really looking forward to this opportunity, and I'm excited for the innovation that's about to happen going forward. So again, thank you, Dr. Enfield, and thank you, everyone. thank you, Port of Seattle, for this opportunity.
Thank you so much, Principal Holloway. And I do want to add that while we are incredibly excited about the opportunities that this school will afford our students, we also know that one of our grounding principles is one of equity. And I know that Principal Holloway will ensure that students in our region who perhaps are furthest away from some of these educational opportunities that lead to meaningful careers have access to what is going to be an incredible, incredible school. And with that, I think probably the one of the only people more excited than I am today is Commissioner Ryan Calkins, who has been a tremendous champion for this high school from the very, very beginning. And so congratulations, Commissioner Calkins, on getting us to this day. And I turn it over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Enfield, and thank you, Principal Holloway. This is truly a momentous day for us as we embark on this. The Changing Tide document that we published just about a year ago, it's hard to believe we've come so far in so little time. And I particularly want to credit Highline Public Schools for taking this up and running with it in the midst of a pandemic. And instead of saying, oh no, we should wait because we've got this crisis, Highline Public Schools said, no, this crisis is an opportunity for us to innovate and seek new ways to reach students in powerful ways. And so the advancement of the Maritime High School is just another example of that kind of leadership in the education space by our community partner. I also want to thank Duwamish Valley Cleanup Coalition that has been a grounding voice through this entire process, reminding us of what really matters, reaching students and families in areas that historically have not had opportunities like this, and ensuring that we keep a laser focus on those communities and those families. And finally, to Jake Beattie and the Northwest Maritime Center, who have shown us that we can do this. With the example they've led in programs around the Puget Sound, educating students and others who have not historically had a chance to participate in maritime careers, and providing us with the expertise and know-how to move this program forward in a very nuts and bolts way. In this next phase, I'm really looking forward to bringing in lots of industry partners as well, who will make sure that the education the students receive at Maritime High School is relevant to the jobs in maritime right now, whether that's vessel operations or the exciting careers in what we call Maritime Blue, the environmental sustainability careers related to ocean and ocean energy and marine biology and naval architecture. It's an incredibly wide array of potential careers that students will get a taste of at Maritime High School. As has been mentioned, the equity, diversity, and inclusion piece is really the keystone for the whole project. And the experience at Highline Public Schools and bringing in a strong leader in Principal Holloway to keep that as our North Star is really essential to the success, the long-term success of this high school. So thank you all, and I'm going to turn it over to Maggie from the Duwamish Valley Cleanup Coalition.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Commissioner Ryan Calkins, for your words. Today, I am actually here really excited and really thrived to see a dream come true, a dream that many of our youth in the Duwamish Valley hoped for. A Maritime High School was actually requested from many of our youth down here in the Duwamish Valley, and today we're seeing that happen. So that just fills my heart with a lot of excitement. It not only brings opportunity educationally wise to our youth, but it also brings a lot of empowerment into the whole community. Many times I say this, when one youth succeeds, it leads to a big successful rate, just because some youth see one person go into this program and they themselves want to get involved as well. So this is a great opportunity for them. Saying that, I'm really excited to be part of this group, to have been part of the planning process and being in partnership with Northwest Maritime Center, the Port of Seattle, and Highline Public Schools. It has been an honor, and also bringing community involvement into this. I think that was the most impactful of all. Many times we don't listen, or we just are such focused in smaller groups that I think bringing community voices, and especially bringing youth voices, has been something we've been doing as a group, and I'm really grateful for that. And I'm just going to say this to all our youth out there. If you ever see this video, I just want to say your voices have been heard, and this is proof of it. We heard your request of a Maritime High School, and this is what we have done. So please, please continue to fight for your voices to be heard and continue being part of conversations with no fear that we are here and people are listening to you. With that being said, I have nothing else but to be grateful for the partnership and for all the community involvement and all the voices that have been lifted today. And thank you all for being here. So I will go ahead and pass it on to Jake Beattie from the Northwest Maritime Center.
Hey, thanks, Maggie. You're hearing a lot about excitement here today, and just to start, I'm also very excited, but I think to explain exactly my excitement, I'm going to take you all the way back to my beginning of my career when I was outward bound instructor in small boats with students piled in, building character and curiosity like these hard, saltwater soaked, one experience at a time. And even though I was drenched, I got hooked because of those moments I saw in those light bulb moments when the student right in front of you is struggling through something and they're struggling through the experience. And when they get it, you see that light bulb of curiosity and satisfaction and pride and everything, accomplishment turn on. You can almost see them glow. And that's why I got into this, is why I'm still doing this type of work. And today for me is one of those moments, both because I know how many student light bulbs are going to go off and glow in the future of this school, and because it feels like today is one of those light bulb sort of culmination moments for us. And by that, I mean the school, but also sort of our regional story. Taking a step back, like in the towering shadow of sort of big tech and Boeing and how much the Seahawks choked yesterday, it's often forgotten that since time began, the story of this place and what we live in, the story of the humans here, it's impossible to tell that story without talking about our relationship to the sea. And I mean that from the millennia of people that depended on these waters for the millennia prior to the time of first contact, all the way to today, where Seattle and the region have this significant dependence on the saltwater for industry and recreation, and not to mention that the problems of the ocean are existential to us as a species. So for all of those problems and all that promise and all that connection, a school that uses all of that as a way to compel learning and create those light bulb moments, creating productive, connected, transformative citizens, I just don't think it gets any better than that. And I just personally couldn't be more inspired. For those of you who don't know us, the Northwest Maritime Center is a regionally serving nonprofit that works across a broad spectrum of activities to engage and educate people through the powerful learning experiences of the sea. And we have this saying here, because the sea is the most powerful teacher we know. And we mean it, because there are a lot of ways to unlock those light bulb moments, a lot of really compelling ways. But here at the Maritime Center, we do what we do because we've never met a better facilitator of those experiences than the sea. And having those powerful experiences in a school and drive the design of a school that serves the diverse communities in and around the Duwamish and creating connections to the maritime industry that is right in those backyards, it just feels right and inspiring in a time where I could, and we all could just use inspiration. So in this initiative, we are thrilled to play a supporting role to the Highline Public Schools and draw on our decades of experience working with schools and students in marine science and maritime education, engaging industry and nonprofit partners, all to help shape the most compelling education possible. Anyway, we'll also be working as a fundraising capacity to make sure all these ideas get the rocket fuel they deserve to become a success. Anyway, we're thrilled and honored to be here. We couldn't be more excited about the work ahead. And now it's my pleasure to introduce Crystal Adolph, the Youth Success Coordinator at the Muckleshoot Tribal School.
Hello, good morning, everyone. I'm here to introduce two of my interns who participated in the Port of Seattle internship. They're going to talk about their experiences with the internship. My first student is Kalani Thompson. She is a junior at MTS.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Kalani Thompson. My pronouns are she, her, and my learning experience working for the Port of Seattle was amazing. It opened a lot of different career pathways I didn't know was even existed, I guess. And overall, I learned how to be more responsible and how to lead better, I guess I can say. It just opened a lot of different pathways I didn't really know existed. And yeah, and Shane, if you want to introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Shane Moses. I'm a junior from the tribal school. And to me, the Port of Seattle was really a teacher for me. It gave me a different variety of skills, anywhere from working from home, being a leader or a learner in situations, technology use improvements, and ongoing leadership enhancements. With all the research and personal research I was doing while making these port resources, I really developed a passion for sustainability and maritime, and those are both of the ones I got to work on at the Port of Seattle. And they both gave me a different maritime, gave me more of a little bit independent and working more with my team skills, which was really fun. And we learned so much about the water, and many of the skills I learned was critical thinking. And to me, that is very important because it really lets you see the other perspective of other people's opinions. And those are one of those other quality leaderships. And so it's like one of those 2-in-1 kind of skills, you know. And for me, it just kind of kept going like that continuously with the Port of Seattle. You know, I was learning one skill from another, and I was just using it to my advantage. And I was thankful for the resources and tools that the Port was giving me. And so learning, and I was also learning from my failures and to learn from them. So I was really reflecting on what I was doing wrong and how I could fix it. And those are one of the other things that the Port of Seattle was really able to give me, and I'm thankful for that. And so for me, the opportunities were endless when it came to finding different skills within the Port of Seattle. I mean, we were working from home. We were learning how to manage our time correctly, data migration, and, you know, basic necessities that we would need in these kind of environments. Working from home on our computers, I think it was very smart for us to continue doing the intern even regardless of it, because it really gave the skills and that we call it, knowledge of the program that we would use in office at the Port of Seattle. So for me, either way, we really got to use these skills and take other skills like self-responsibility and time management. So for me, the Port helped me with a variety of different things, and I can't wait to be with you guys hopefully and see where everything goes. Thank you guys so much for taking the time out today to let us talk to you guys. Have an awesome day.
Well, great. That concludes our speaker lineup for this morning. And for any of you members of the media here this morning, if you've got any questions for any of the speakers or participants, feel free to let us know. We're more than happy to take any of those questions right now. Okay, going once.
Hi, it's Ryan Harris from Como Radio. Can you hear me?
Sure can, Ryan.
Okay, well, I tell you, you know, I grew up in a town where the California Maritime Academy is located, and I'm wondering if part of what you're going to do for these students is also to build relationships with schools like that so that they can go on and further their maritime education.
Who would like to take that question?
Look, I'll let Principal Holloway start.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for the question. I appreciate you alluding to that. Absolutely. We want to make sure that we're fostering the knowledge and the skills and the interest of the maritime industry for our students. And with the hopes that I was explaining to someone the other day is these industry partners that we can have, they can develop mentorships for our students. And then those mentorships can become internships. And then from those internships that will provide them opportunities in the future for what they want to do. So hopefully to foster the interest and spark an interest in our students in order to have those opportunities.
Thank you, Tremain. I would add as well that while clearly there's a focus on industry partnership and preparing students for jobs here in the field, not all jobs require a 4-year degree, but we clearly want every student graduating from any school in Highline Public Schools to be prepared for every path that is available to them, including a 4-year degree. So we will continue to build strong partnerships with post-secondary institutions, universities, our community college system, to make sure that those pathways are clear to students and they know what they need in order to pursue a certain field within maritime.
And if I could hop on another angle of that answer, from what we've seen with other schools we've worked with, is that there is, I mean, the goal of this isn't creating everyone becoming a tugboat captain, but it is likely that with greater awareness of an industry and opportunities, what we've seen is increased numbers of students opting into that. So they get a great education that's informed by this world around them and these compelling experiences of the sea. And then a higher than normal percentage of them, just because of awareness and of great opportunities, choose to go that direction. And sometimes they choose to go directly into the industry itself. Some of the certifications that we've seen students get from parallel efforts allow them to be employed right away. Others choose to go and do sort of other, like Dr. Enfield said, other learning through either community college like the Seattle Maritime Academy here in Seattle, or the California Maritime Academy in Vallejo, which you grew up next to. Washington State is actually one of the states that feeds that program. So while it's not part of the state university system, we aren't part of the California State University system, there is a goal of the California Maritime Academy to recruit students from Washington. So there's a real opportunity there if that's a path that students want to pursue.
Thank you, Jake, for providing a much better answer than we had. I neglected earlier to say something, and I do need to get it in there, and it's related to this. Commissioner Calkins called out Highline for managing to move this work forward in the midst of a pandemic when it would have been easier to say, no, not right now. That wouldn't have happened without the leadership of Bernard Kuntz, one of our executive directors, who, in addition to all of his other responsibilities in Highline, has been the one to really lead this with a clear vision, commitment to collaboration and partnerships. And I can assure you that Bernard is making sure that those pathways for students and those connection to higher education institutions and industry are very solid and very clear. So thanks to Bernard for that.
Okay, great. Are there any other questions?
This is Ashley Gross with KNKX. I have a few questions. Number one for Superintendent Enfield. So this is a regional high school, so how can kids from other districts get into this school? And then the second question is for both Superintendent Enfield and Principal Holloway. How will the courses offered differ from regular comprehensive high school? And then the third question is for Maggie. I'm wondering what youth in the community that you worked with, what did they say that they wanted in particular when they wanted this kind of high school?
Okay, I'll start. Thanks, Ashley. So similar to Raisbeck Aviation High School, because this is a public school, we cannot, nor would we choose to, sort and select and choose students entrance into the school. So it will be based on lottery. And we are in the midst of launching under Principal Holloway's visionary leadership, some really robust recruitment campaign, particularly in the Duwamish area and areas where we know sometimes there's been an absence of good communication, engagement, and outreach for opportunities like this. So targeted recruitment, but once students indicate their interest, it will be an admission via lottery. I'll turn it over to Principal Holloway for the next question.
Yes, I'll add on to that. Definitely when I think about it, and Bernard, you can help me out too. I know we've been working a lot behind closed doors as well. We want to give an opportunity for have high academic, high rigorous instruction. So when it comes to the content that they're learning, they'll not only just be learning in the classroom, we're also going to be learning outside the classroom as well. And so what I mean by that is we're really going to be focused on project-based learning. We're really going to be focused on that industry, that in the field type of learning, so our kids can have that knowledge and utilize that so it can help propel them in the future for the positions they would like to aspire to be when it comes to the maritime industry. Bernard, do you want to add something a little bit about like the curriculum?
Yeah, thanks, Tremain. I would add that because the school is going to be based in project-based learning, there will be a series of experiences that students are engaging in for content across different areas, and connects us to each other and connects us to the community and to the industry experiences. And that's really what will make this different from other high school experiences, in that the learning is going to take place through these major projects rather than through discrete courses.
I will go ahead and answer the last question Ashley had. Yes, we do run a youth program here in the Duwamish Valley called the Duwamish Valley Youth Corps, which consists of environmental justice and education down in the Duwamish Valley. So within those youth, we do a lot of walking tours, boat tours, going along the Duwamish River and talking about industries and how they run, what impact they do to our environment. And within those conversations and the experiences from other youth with the Port of Seattle internships, the idea of a Maritime High School came into a conversation where many of their youth were interested in having career opportunities and learning more about marine science and learning more about the Duwamish River. The Duwamish Valley is next to the Duwamish River, so it's literally behind our backyards. So they really are enthusiastic about having access to the river, having access to the education. And I think that's where the whole idea began when we were doing the boat tours and the walking tours, just for them having a career that they could stay in the community, that they don't have to travel too far to find an opportunity like such. So that's where that came from. Hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, great. Thank you, Ashley. Anyone else while we've just got a couple minutes left on the clock?
Hi, hello, my name is Jack Rosillo from the South Seattle Emerald. I've got a quick nuts and bolts question. I am curious about what it will take for students to apply and to actually get into the school. What will the application process look like? Will it be just like writing an essay, things like that, or will there be an interview later on? And I just wanted to confirm, will there be any tuition for school, or is it free as most public schools are?
Yeah, thank you for that question. I'll take that. This is a public school, and therefore it is free. And we are in the process right now of discussing, once we get those students who are interested, what the admissions process or the admissions to the lottery process will be. We've learned a lot of lessons from our work at Raisbeck Aviation High School, which is also a regional magnet school. And we want to make sure that we don't create barriers for students to gain admissions to the lottery. So I can tell you that my goal is that we make it as simple as possible, likely some kind of an essay expressing interest, but we're not going to put up barriers like interviews and recommendations and things like this. We want students to be able to readily have a chance at being a part of this wonderful opportunity.
And Susan, I would add to that the application process is up and open. It's been open since January 1st, and we welcome questions about the process, and there is absolutely assistance available to families to complete that. We believe it's relatively intuitive, but we're very happy to help families, and we can provide language support as well for families that need to navigate that. To directly answer your question regarding the essay, there is a short essay where students get to describe their interest in the school. However, we really try to emphasize with folks that is not evaluated for its quality and doesn't play a role in whether or not a student is selected in the lottery. In following the lottery, there is a conversation with families to confirm their interest. But again, that conversation is not a scored part of anything that plays into whether a student is ultimately enrolled or not.
Yeah, because again, admission by lottery is we're just going to pull names out. And in the past, we've done our lottery admissions for our schools in Highline publicly so that people can see it. So there's no concern that anything inappropriate went on and that it was fair. And the other thing that I would add on to what Bernard was saying around the essay and the meeting, this system will not screen kids out. That's, I think, the leading line here is that the subsequent conversation, once a student expresses interest and goes into the lottery, the conversation we may have with that student and family is not at all to determine if they're a good fit for the school. It's, you know, if they want to go, we want them to be able to have a chance to go. But we also want to make sure that students are clear on what the school is and what the school isn't. Because this is going to be a smaller, very focused school. So, you know, they're not going to have the big football team and the marching band and some of those other things. So we want to make sure that students know by making this choice that they may not have some of those other things, but there are tremendous things that they will gain and benefits they'll have from being a part of it.
Excellent, thank you. And if there is time, I just wanted to know how many students would be drawn in the lottery, like what a class, like what this opening, I guess, class or school will, the amount of students that will be there.
Bernard, say.
Yeah. So for our first class, we're looking for up to 45 students, and that's to facilitate this first group of students that we'll be working with. And then after this year, each year we'll bring in a class of 100 ninth graders each year.
Thank you very much.
Okay, well, real good. Well, that concludes today's media availability here for Maritime High School. As I mentioned, this has been recorded. We are going to make it available up on our website as soon as our web people that do this do it. So thank you again for attending, and let us know if you have any further questions. All of our contact information is on the release that should be going out shortly, and of course you've got our emails. You know, Catherine and I are more than happy to field any of those and send those out to any of our additional speakers if you have questions for them. All right, thanks again for joining us.